Hey everyone, it's Kellen Brower here from RacerX, back again with another race examination video from Ironman, where first I'm going to take a look at this move for the race lead in 250 Moto 1 pulled off by Jett Lawrence as he goes down the back straightaway here at Ironman and makes this silky smooth pass on Justin Cooper. And you kind of just take off from Cooper, at least here. Martin would kind of catch up to him and make it a good battle for a little bit. But I just kind of wanted to individually break down a couple things. First off, this little cheeky double into the valley. Of a lot of people were doing it to make some passes, so it's nothing new, but it's not easy to do. And then Lawrence pretty much immediately turns it into a nice scrub, stays lower than Cooper on this jump. Cooper sees that he's there, but look at this, like lands, and the second the suspension compresses, he lifts the front wheel up to drop it down into this little hole, scrubs that double nicely, and then once again scrubs the table very nicely at the end of it. All these things individually are not very easy to do. Connecting them all together, Lawrence just makes it look silky smooth, and I just wanted to kind of highlight it here to start it off. As mentioned, though, Jeremy Martin would catch up to Jett Lawrence a little bit past the halfway point of this moto and really did kind of make an interesting race at the front. I wanted to highlight this moment, though, because he attacks this corner around the outside so hard, lays it in there, and then all the way down this back straightaway, it's a drag race. I really like this back straightaway at Ironman because it's almost like a mini straight rhythm in a sense. It's very long, there's a lot of jumps on it, and there's a lot of things you can do to gain time. Doing them lap after lap maybe isn't the safest thing to do, but you can see Martin and Lawrence kind of just matching each other, scrubbing alongside. Martin tries to go to the outside, but Lawrence protects inside and gets on the gas and is able to hold him off. It was a terrific battle between these two, but again, just wanted to go back and highlight how hard Martin hits this outside line here, and he kind of just like lands and already leaning over, barely gets the foot out, and it's like pretty much dragging bar. Just a really cool moment that I wanted to talk about there. Unfortunately, it would come unraveled just a few moments later, though, for Martin as he crashed, trying to keep close with Lawrence here in the back. Same section that we were looking at, but this one just the scrub goes a little bit wrong. I think if this wasn't a roller section, or maybe even if it wasn't as high speed, he would have had a chance to save this, but it pretty much the second he lands, the suspension kicks him back over and down he goes. Martin cracked his wrist, and that will mean the end of his season for him, unfortunately, but a great season to that point, even dealing with all the injuries he had. I want to remind everybody that this video is presented by OnX Off-Road. Know where to go with the #1 off-road GPS app. Access 400,000 plus miles of trails and roads, open dates, and public lands. Download the OnX Off-Road app today. Let's talk about Ken Roczen in the first 450 moto coming through the field and getting into the race lead, because he wasn't even really close at the beginning of the lap here on the first lap of the race. Then he made a couple quick passes, got up to Eli Tomac down this back straightaway, quickly goes around Tomac, and pretty much just makes a maniacal charge to get into the lead in the next 5 or so corners. It honestly seemed like he was going to take the race lead before the first lap was even over, because he gets these two corners here, these switchbacks right here, better than Savatgy and Ferrandis ahead of him. So he's going to tuck to the inside here, get through the rollers clean, and then watch how hard he's going to hit this last corner as he splits the difference with them, goes up the inside. It seemed like he might make that pass right there, but Savatgy and Ferrandis hold him at bay. Now they're battling for the lead, and Roczen's just kind of sizing up where he wants to make a pass on either of them. So he scrubs this single really hard, and he realizes Savatgy's going to push to the outside here. So he just cuts up underneath, gets to the inside of Savatgy and pushes him out, so he moves into second place. And then watch how hard he turns up the inside of this corner right here. Gets on the brakes, just lays it in, somehow gets the power down to then get alongside Ferrandis and then go up the inside to take the race lead. That sequence there, that minute or so sequence of the race, is insane to watch because he's passing such top-level talent and he's doing it so easily. Roczen's first laps are just incredible. Ferrandis didn't want to let him go, though, in this first 450 moto, and he comes right back after him, goes up the inside and takes the lead, and that kind of set the tone for the race, because had Roczen gotten away, maybe Tomac and Ferrandis kind of battling with each other sets a little bit of a tone, and Roczen's able to sneak away. Instead, Ferrandis gets the lead, Roczen starts fighting back on him, and you may not have noticed this here, but Roczen actually doing a little bit of kind of gamesmanship coming into this corner here, something you don't always see, but up the inside, Roczen grabs the clutch and a handful of throttle, maybe trying to think that he's a little bit closer, make Ferrandis think that he's a little bit closer and scare him out of the rut. Forkner does kind of the same thing here with Masterpool later, so just kind of funny dynamics right there, really, if anything. But I wanted to also highlight how Eli Tomac used the same maneuver that Roczen used on the first lap of the race to then pass Ken Roczen, go after Ferrandis for the lead, and set sail after that, and Roczen would kind of fall off these guys. But again, kind of the same exact thing. The only difference here is Tomac entering a lot wider, but it's the same exact type of maneuver, cutting up the inside and trying to hug the inside of this corner as much as possible because of the way that the corner is banked and using that to your advantage. Nice pass in both respects, but Tomac completing it there on Roczen. Now to 450 Moto 2 and talking about Cooper Webb and Dylan Ferrandis coming together here before the finish line jump. Ferrandis gesturing back to just kind of apologize. So again, a little bit of nice gamesmanship there, something you don't really always get a chance to see, I feel like, in racing. But Ferrandis knows he left the braking a little bit too late. He pushes Webb out, and he doesn't want to not complete the pass, so he still jumps the double, but just looks back to say, hey, didn't intentionally do that. So, again, nice gamesmanship. But the story, of course, is Eli Tomac going beast mode on the day, finally stamping an overall win with a 2-1 score. And Eli summed it up with how much this overall win meant to him.
It is. All I can say is better late than never. Finally had the day that we wanted to have. You know, I felt like I've had kind of two sides of myself during these days between Moto 1 and 2, and today just brought it in both, and made a couple good quick passes there early on, and just was finally able to do my thing. So huge day for us. Man, that overall was really getting at me. So great day for Team Monster Energy Kawasaki, Alpine Star, Oakley Bell, PPG, and try to get next week too.